Boxing Truth here. David Benavidez is the best super middleweight in the world. Boxing Truth is already crowning David Benavidez. I'm doing it because a few reasons. One, it's been a long time. It's been quite some time since I've been that impressed by a performance, especially from a young prospect coming up. The way he did it, the caliber of opposition he was fighting, the type of momentum Porky Medina was coming into the ring, and just how David Benavidez dispatched Porky Medina. And as a result of his performance, he's the best super middleweight in the world, in my opinion. I've been watching David Benavidez for over the past year since he was being featured on these PBC cards, and I was always impressed with him. I was liking what I was seeing. He was knocking guys out, dominating guys. He's a big, strong super middleweight. But it was against lower level opposition, so you really can't really get a good gauge on how good he is. But he finally had a step-up fight, an eliminator with Porky Medina within the WBC rankings. And it's been quite some time since I've been that impressed. I mean, this guy just looked lights out. He was throwing some hellacious, laser-like punches from the get-go, and it was amazing that Porky Medina was able to take what he took for about 8 rounds, because he was getting lit up, straight lace, with some razor-sharp, fast, powerful combinations. When you see that those type of punches, you know this kid's really something. The kid is trouble. There's a new boss, a new sheriff in town in the super middleweight division. His name is David Benavidez, only 20 years old, and it's already unbelievable how good this kid is. This kid is the future at 168. I'm already crowning him. I don't do this usually because I don't really do this often, because it's not that often that you see this type of talent. The last time I was this impressed by a performance was probably the first time I watched Sergey Kovalev fight. After watching Kovalev fight for the first time, I knew he was an elite talent. I knew he was going to be a great fighter. And that's how it panned out. That's how his career has panned out. But this kid, David Benavidez, man, he's going to run over everybody at 168. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm crowning him is just how weak the super middleweight division is at the current moment. Look at the top 10. And you're just not impressed with what's going on at super middleweight. The best fighter at super middleweight was Badu Jack, but he's no longer in the division. He moved up. He's going to go see the light heavyweight boys. So now you're left with 3 belt holders. 1 vacant title is being fought for this weekend between George Groves and Fedor Shouldn't. But I'm telling you guys right now, David Benavidez is better than Zerto Ramirez. He's better than George Groves. He's better than Callum Smith. He'll whip both of those weak-ass Durrell brothers on the same night. And he better than James DeGale. David Benavidez will whip all their asses. He'll end James DeGale's career. Zerto Ramirez, he hasn't looked impressive lately in his past few performances. He'd be a good fight. But I'm not exactly impressed with what I'm seeing. Injuries, going to distance. He's just not blowing guys out of there. He's not having the type of performance David Benavidez is having. Promoter Samson Lukowicz has done it again. He's found an unbelievable talent out of nowhere. He's already been credited with discovering the likes of Manny Pacquiao and Maravilla. And now he's got this kid under his wing. And man, as a promoter, as a manager, as a matchmaker, it has to be a wonderful feeling when you have this type of talent in front of you, this type of, the tools that this kid possesses, the hand speed, the punching power, and he really handled himself well in his first step-up fight against Porky Medina. But when you have that type of talent as a promoter, manager, and matchmaker, it's a wonderful feeling because you don't got to protect the kid. You know this kid is the goods. You know this kid is real. And it doesn't matter who Benavidez gets his first title shot against, because this kid's going to run him over. He beats all of those cats, man. None of these cats can see but David Benavidez now if he continues to work hard, continues to have that same dedication, and continues to improve his craft. This kid is the future at 168. Ain't nobody touching this kid. But the performance was excellent. Have been that impressed in a while. And the reason why I'm giving Benavidez so much props is because, in my opinion, he just destroyed, dominated, and knocked out the true IBF Super Middleweight champion of the world in Porky Medina. Porky, in my opinion, whooped James DeGale's ass and got robbed. He's been on a winning streak, got robbed against James DeGale, was winning fights, and was coming into his best peak performances. He was at his best as a prize fighter after a shaky start early in his career, getting stopped against Badu Jack, getting stopped against Zerto Ramirez. But he bounced back and was able to have better performances and even challenge for a title, got robbed, and then ended up having to fight Benavidez, a young killer. And Porky Medina, he showed his veteran, that he was a veteran, that he was seasoned. He pushed David Benavidez, but he just brought out the potential in him, man. Wow, it was unbelievable combinations, body shots. That last 7-punch combination was amazing, man. That was a star-making performance. Everybody knows what time it is when it comes to David Benavidez. All the insiders, all the matchmakers, all the managers, they're going to stay away from this kid. The only way this kid gets a title shot is if he becomes the mandatory. Now, the fight with Medina was an eliminator. It wasn't a final eliminator. So he's going to have to fight another eliminator, I believe, since there's two guys still rated above him, which is Chris Eubank Jr., who is going nowhere near David Benavidez. Ain't never happened. And some Turkish guy, I can't pronounce his name, but he's rated above David Benavidez from WBC. So he still has two more guys to deal with that are ahead of him. And he's well on his way, man. He's already ready for a title shot at 20 years old. Shit, if Triple G beats Canelo, he might have to stay away at Super Middleweight. Since, in my opinion, Benavidez is the future of the division. Benavidez and Golovkin sparred. Benavidez got Golovkin ready for his fight with Jacobs. I don't know what happened. Hasn't been any stories or rumors, but according to the Able, Benavidez gave Golovkin some great work. So read between the lines. That could mean Benavidez really gave him fits or perhaps got the better of him. But man, this kid is really something. The talent, the punching power, the speed, and he's a hell of a whole lot better than his brother was, Jose Benavidez. This is going to be the Benavidez that truly makes it, that becomes a champion, ends up having a great career. I'm already on the train. Y'all can join me if y'all want, because I suspect a very long ride. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.